I think I 32F nuked my relationship with my boyfriend, 32M, by drawing a hard line. My boyfriend and I have been together for nearly 2 years, living together for one. He had purchased his house prior to us dating, and I was renting an apartment, so it made sense for me to move into his house. He continued to pay the mortgage, and I took on all of the usage, bills, all of the utilities and annual maintenance, as well as the grocery shopping, and we felt that it was a fair split. As our anniversary is coming up, we've been talking about our future timelines and where we see our relationship progressing. We're on the same page with all the big ideas. We know we want to marry each other and start a family following that. But to be in a position to start a family, the house is going to need a lot of renovations, and we've always thrown around the idea that the cost of renos would be my buy-in, so to say, on the house. From our estimates, everything we would want to do would be around $100,000 at the low end. We even agreed that we could draw up some kind of agreement to protect both of our interests financially. As it's gotten closer to reality of reaching out to contractors and banks, I've felt more and more unsettled about the situation. I feel confident in our relationship, but foolish to be making an investment in a boyfriend's asset. I told him that I would like to be engaged before starting this process, so I feel like he's making a commitment to me as much as I am. We've talked about being engaged prior to this, but he said adding this element makes it feel very transactional and takes away the romance and sparkle of it all. I didn't tell him I wanted to be engaged by a specific date or anything like that, just that if this renovation is what we wanted to pursue, this is the action I'd like to take beforehand. He seemed upset by my statement, and I feel like I really have taken some of the romance and surprise out of the idea of a proposal or being engaged. The morning after this conversation was cold and tense, and I can't help but feel like I've done irreparable damage. But I don't feel wrong in making the request. Am I being reasonable? Is this recoverable? Forget engaged. Don't do this unless you're married, and on the deed. LOL what? He wants thousands of dollars without deed and legal transactions? I would not put any money without my name on the house. You did the right thing. Why can't the renovation wait till you're married? Never do such a big investment into someone else's property whom you have zero legal ties to. Being engaged is not enough. Also takes the romance of it away. Is red flag as fuck often used by men who string along their partner that have no real intention to marry. You're being reasonable. Splitting $100K of renovations on a property you don't own and have no rights to would be a terrible decision. LOL he's worried about it being transactional. Yeah right. Get on the deed before you make any investment into this property. Paying for yearly maintenance on his property is already doing too much. If this nuked your relationship, you dodged a bullet. But I don't feel wrong in making the request. You answered your own question, and I agree. If not on the deed, don't contribute 1 penny. Husband, M43, lied to me, F38, after we had 2 babies, and I'm not sure if I am overreacting. I'm absolutely lost in this situation, and I'm in urgent need of an outside perspective. My husband, M43, and I, F38, have been married for 5 years and have had 2 children, M2.5, F10 male. During my pregnancy with F10 male, she was diagnosed with a heart defect during the anatomy scan, and I was quite distraught while my husband took a more rational approach, and since then we struggled to reconnect. Honestly, the last year of our relationship was quite a blur, and I felt like my husband had checked out of the family emotionally. He started traveling for work, he never had to before, and was visibly depressed since our baby girl was born. We started couple counseling a few months after this. We've had quite a few major arguments since, one revolving around me finding communications between him and his brother/him and my mother-in-law about my shortcomings. I was very dependent on him. I didn't drive, I needed a lot of help during pregnancy and hormone treatments, etc., but I always worked, and from my perspective, I always carried my weight. To read this really broke my heart, because I thought I'm close with all of these people. Anyway, here's the situation that I need serious advice for. Baby girl was born late in December, and things were awfully stressful. We had 2 babies, baby girl was constantly sick at night, 2 big dogs, and my husband was really depressed, so I urged him to take a vacation to regroup and clear his head. I did this not just as an act of love, but also because I really wanted and needed him to emotionally rejoin our family, and not just show up in the evening, depressed and unhappy, and attend me and the children like he's working off tasks of a to-do list without any love or passion. So I booked him into a diving vacation on a live-aboard boat. When he came back, he was a bit less miserable, but there was no reconnection ever since, and it's been a year. He mentioned all kinds of people from the diving boat. He told me about both men and women he got along with, and meant to stay in touch with. A few days ago, I came across locked chats on his WhatsApp. Not by consciously looking, I didn't even know that was a thing. Anyway, I looked into it as I know his passcode. A few years ago, we didn't have secrets, and I came across chat with some girl from the dive boat. At first glance, the chat seemed innocent enough. A lot of talk about traveling and diving, 80+ picture of her and her travels, him complaining about his boring life, but mainly about diving, his business trips, her family and friends, etc. This went on from April to September. Not every day, and I didn't read the messages in detail, but just scroll through them. Secondly, I came across a chat with his ex-girlfriend's sister, thanking her that she let him sleep at her place. He seemed to have flown through her city on the way back from one of his business trips, and didn't tell me despite me asking at the time when his flight was, etc. I asked him what's in his locked chats, and he lied to me, deleted them, dive friends chat just partially, and worst of all, swore on our children's lives that he didn't delete anything. He didn't know I had already seen the chats. I confronted him, and he basically apologized at first for lying, but doesn't feel sorry for having secret friendships or affairs with some dive boat girl while I'm home recovering from my severe birth injuries, and we go to couples counseling because there was nothing inappropriate, and he had just locked the chat because I created an environment in which he didn't feel like he could have some privacy. So somehow this is my fault. At least partially. Mind you, I am not a jealous person, and I don't consider myself controlling. I literally made him go on this trip. But when I come across my own husband bad-mouthing me with his family, or him having hidden chats on WhatsApp, I'm not stoked. Would anybody be? He never mentioned this girl to me. Not once. He's also bringing up a colleague who sent me flirty WhatsApp messages, and who I consistently, though gently, turned down as the proof that I have nothing to complain about. I start feeling crazy for turning this into a huge thing just before Christmas. I don't want to stay in a marriage that's full of emotional detachment, lies, justified mistrust, and deception. This comes on the back of a year of a sad, non-detached relationship with no emotional connection, despite my many attempts to re-establish a physical and or emotional relationship. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Am I going crazy? P.S. Obviously this is my perspective, and I fully appreciate that he would disagree with some of my interpretations. He thinks I'm controlling, etc. The fact that he had a female friend he talks to almost daily and has never mentioned anything about it to you is a red flag. You didn't create a place where I felt I could have privacy. Why do you need privacy from your wife with another woman? He's emotionally checked out of the marriage. He probably figures it's better just to stay in the marriage than deal with divorce. So he's a liar. He checks out emotionally when he's stressed. He seeks attention and validation from others outside the marriage. He's willing to leave you home with 2 babies while he parties. I suppose a therapist would charge you $100 an hour to ask you how this makes you feel and explore ways to get him to open up, but it's a long process with no guarantee of success. The world is full of men. You can do better. So no, you are not crazy. I'm willing to bet he's hiding money too. Call a lawyer ASAP. Right after you get copies of all financial documents, including 401ks, insurance, car titles, mortgage documents, etc. You have 2 babies to protect. He had something to hide for a reason. Now, there's resentment and a lack of connection as well as trust. You can't trust him, and he doesn't want to be honest enough to fix it, so either marriage counseling, which won't work if he's gonna lie, or separation are your best bet. So he treats you like crap, you reward him with a vacation, and when he returns he treats you like crap again. He's not interested in you, the kids, or the marriage. You're not crazy. He's disrespecting you. Your husband is playing in your face, entertaining another woman. You need to decide if this is what you want the rest of your life to be. My 22F girlfriend, 20F, penetrated me after I told her I was in pain. After we were intimate for about an hour or 2 with me giving to my girlfriend, she wanted to give to me. When she initially tried, it hurt a lot because she hadn't cut her nails. I was fine with her cutting them, then we resumed. But when she tried again, even if I was lubricated enough, it still hurt. Eventually I just told her it hurt, and to stop. We were just making out while she rubbed her fingers on my clit, which I was enjoying a lot. But then as minutes went by, I felt my girlfriend slip a finger inside me. It hurt once again, but I froze up while she continued kissing me. Eventually the pain got too bad, and I pretty much pushed her off me. We talked about it afterwards, and she apologized, but then said something like, would it be helpful to come up with a safe word? It makes me feel like she thinks it's my fault, and I should have said something to stop it, which I did. I am staying over at her place tonight, and feel super uncomfortable sharing a bed with her. She knows I have been previously sexually assaulted by my ex-girlfriend and by my brother when I was a teenager. I'm just sitting in the bathroom crying as I write this, and I don't know what to do. So let me get this straight. You told her to stop, she did it again, you pushed her off, all she could say was should we come up with a safe word, and you were previously sexually assaulted. Yeah, that's not okay because not only does she not care if you're in pain, but she has also sexually assaulted you. Time for you to reconsider this relationship and end it. How you are feeling is very important. Do not try to make your girlfriend feel better just by staying there, and if you feel uncomfortable, then you should leave because she obviously does not listen to you and does not want to consider your feelings in this. I suggest going somewhere else for the night, and when she figures out that it's really important to you that you need Tobe heard, then she will listen, and if she does not, and you need to leave this relationship, that's my opinion. I apologize for not including this in my original post. I was crying a lot and not thinking right. We do actually have a safe word, but from how she understood it, she thought it was just for her, not for me to use as well. Which I don't get because I was the one who brought that up months ago and said we should have a safe word, as she has wanted to try more intense things. This is why I am genuinely confused as to why she would ask me to make a safe word after the matter. I feel a bit calmer now and went straight to my aunt's place as I feel super safe there. Thanks to everyone for the comments. It helps feeling validated and for my side to be understood. Thank you, really. Break up with her. It sounds like you were clear about saying no. She violated your boundaries. What better safe word than stop? I'm so sorry this happened. Maybe you should try to go home. Maybe make her excuse? To sleep/think this through. Girlfriend, 25F, goes on not dates with male friends and I, 24M, don't love it. She says I'm insecure. We've been together 6 months. She had a lot of male friends before we met due to her work and hobbies being more male than female. Not an issue. But I didn't realize the extent to which she hangs out with them one-on-one. For example, she just started a new job a couple of months ago. She hasn't told any of her colleagues about us because I work in the same field and sometimes our companies work together, and she wants to remain professional. She made a new male friend, no biggie. Everyone has friends at work. But they've been to see movies together, get food together, go on drives together. I brought it up and she said, we're just friends because he's nice to me. He has a long-term girlfriend. If you don't trust that I can hang out with friends, then do you believe I actually like you? I have loads of male friends and always have. Do you expect me to just drop them? I kind of get her point, but at the same time it just hurts my stomach every time she tells me what she's been up to with one of her pals. I feel like an idiot who's being strung along. She's really sweet, so I don't think she's doing it on purpose. I think she genuinely believes this is fine. From my point of view, I think it would be outrageous for me to be in a committed relationship and make one-on-one plans with new female friends, and I would never do it. I'm really struggling. I even feel ridiculous that I feel threatened. It's like a lose-lose. Is this reconcilable or a fundamentally different mindset? If she hides the fact from others that you two are together, you are the side piece. She hasn't told them she has a boyfriend? She doesn't tell coworkers because you're in the same field and she wants to remain professional. But then goes on dates with coworkers? And they are dates, let's not split hairs. Sweetie, you're being played. Nobody knows you exist in her friends group. Tells you everything you need to know. You're a side dick. Irreconcilable. Time to move on. I promise you there are people out there that do not pull this shit.